Hey everyone, and welcome back to Divine Beauty Tarot. So I am back. I am married. My husband and I actually got married on the 28th in May. So I'm super, super excited. This is honestly really the reason why I haven't been as consistent in uploading my tarot videos. So I do honestly apologize for the lack of consistency with that, but I'm hoping to get right back on track now that things have kind of settled down a little bit, which is going to be really nice. And hopefully I'll kind of get back into a routine of things. So I'm really, really excited for that. Today's pick a card is actually really special because I did a poll on my Instagram. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, be sure to do so. It is at Divine Beauty Tarot. I will leave the handle in the description box so you guys can check that out. But on there, I did do a poll to see what everyone would like to see next as far as like the next pick a card reading. And this one in particular got the most votes, and it was the next 6 months predictions. So we are going to take a look to see what the next 6 months have in store for you guys, which it's crazy to think like we are already halfway through 2021. Like we are now in June and we literally have just 6 more months until the year's over, and then we hit 2022. So it's insane to see and realize how quickly this year has flown by. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the rest of the year has in store and even just the future. So really, really looking forward to that. So as you guys can see here, we have 3 piles in which you can select from. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. If you prefer to choose with crystals, I have 3 different crystals here at the bottom. For pile number 1, we have this heart-shaped clear, I want to say this is just a clear quartz. For pile number 2, we have lapis lazuli. I'm sorry if you guys can hear the peacocks in the background. Hopefully mating season is almost over. And then for pile number 3, we have some pyrite. So pretty. So if you need to, you guys can pause the video to meditate on which pile you're feeling most drawn to. Also, I forgot to mention, if you guys can see here on the top, I did use 3 different tarot decks for this video. So if that helps you, besides the crystals to choose, you're more than welcome to choose which tarot deck you were drawn to. I did the Witch's Tarot deck here, the Modern Muse Tarot, and then the Rider-Waite Tarot. So there are 3 different decks having been used in today's reading as well. I will have the timestamps listed below in the description box. So once you have made your selection, you can go ahead and fast forward to your reading. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a moment to meditate, and then I will see you guys at your pile selection. Hey group 1, so if you guys selected the clear quartz heart, then this is going to be your reading. So I've gone ahead and laid out all of your tarot cards, and we're going to go ahead and go through these first before we go through the rest of your oracle cards. So as we are looking into the next 6 months, keep in mind that this is a general reading. I always want to start this off with just a general disclaimer. There's going to be a multitude of people watching this. And also, this is based on what your current energy is right now. So if there's anything in this that you don't like, whether you selected pile 1, 2, or 3, just keep in mind you do have free will. You have the opportunity to change the trajectory of your course. So if at any point you hear something that either just 1, you're not totally on board with, 2, you just don't feel like you want that necessarily to happen for yourself, keep in mind that you do have the power to change that. So I did want to put that out there just as a disclaimer, in case you are new to pick a card readings, or if you just are kind of like in between wanting to know or not know or whatever. I always just want to put this as a general disclaimer for those of you guys who might be a little bit newer to the pick a card readings. But Now that we have that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and dive in here. So we have the Emperor, we have the Wheel of the Year, also known as the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Four of Swords in reverse, the Three of Swords upright, the Chariot in reverse, and the Death card. So group number one, within these next 6 months, I definitely feel like there is a change coming for you here. And I feel like this change has to deal with your career. I feel like for many of you, you guys are stepping into a higher position at your current place of work, or maybe this is a new job for you where you are going to be like a manager, or you're going to be in some type of management. The Emperor card rules that sense of authority. That's basically what he is known as. He's known as kind of like the father of the tarot deck, but usually represents that strong authoritative figure. So when I see this here, this to me just makes me think somebody's stepping into a position of like respect, authority, kind of like taking charge and, being responsible for maybe a group of people, or just having a higher list of expectations that they are now meant to follow. And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, this is just kind of like you stepping into this next chapter. It's just kind of almost like this was maybe the next stage that you were preparing for, or maybe that you were hoping for that would happen. Maybe this involves like, a raise. There is this sense of just like leveling up here, which is really exciting. Now with that though, however, we do see there is some possibly a little bit of a hiccup here. Now, I don't want you guys to get discouraged. I do want to be like very upfront with you though, with the Four of Swords and the Three of Swords and the Chariot here. So these three cards right here in particular are basically telling me that I feel like once you kind of start to step into this role, there might be a time where you feel a little overworked or overwhelmed, because this is a lot more responsibility than maybe you were used to having. And it can be a little overwhelming. I speak from experience. I actually am a manager at my current job, like my full-time job. And I will say that there have been times for sure where it was definitely overwhelming, because not only are you responsible for your staff, but you're also responsible for your customers. And of course you have to respond to your bosses and things of that nature. So there's just a lot of moving parts when it comes to management. And it can sometimes feel very draining, so you never want to feel like you're stretching yourself too thin. And especially when you're starting off into, a new job or like just a new position, you obviously want to just go all in and you want to take on what you can. But I feel like with this Four of Swords here in reverse, this is showing that you might feel like you're going to feel a little too stretched thin, meaning that you're just going to maybe be taking on more than what you should, and you're not going to feel very rested. You're going to feel like there might be this sense of stress. And if that's just, how you are, that's just how you tend to be, take this as maybe just like, okay, if I know ahead of time, like that's just how I am, I need to either better time manage or figure out a way to where I don't get to this point, okay? Because from this, we lead here into the Three of Swords. Now, with the Three of Swords, this is usually reference to like heartache. This deals with just like very heavy emotion. And I look at this as almost feeling very depleted. Typically in like especially in a love reading, you're going to look at this as more of like heartbreak. Sorry. You're going to look at this as more of like heartbreak, or even just, like I said, there is just this sense of loss with attached to the Three of Swords. But because with this type of reading that I'm seeing here with these cards, I look at this is how you're feeling emotionally based on maybe lack of sleep, maybe just feeling like you have too much on your plate. You're feeling just very drained is what I'm getting here. And this leads over here to the Chariot in reverse. This is you kind of thinking, did I make the right choice? Am I capable? Can I do this? Is this even really what I want? And I will be real with you guys. Anytime we experience change, whether we think we're prepared for it or not, oftentimes it's almost like our subconscious and our body try to trick us in telling us that we can't do it. We need to go back to what we knew or where we were comfortable, where we felt safe. Even though we may not have been happy where we were before, it's almost like your body just trying to tell you, like, you need to go back to what you knew and not do any of this because this is considered like the unknown, right? So don't listen to that. If you're hearing this now, obviously before this is happening, take this as a sign to realize that you have the full potential to do this. You were meant for this, okay? This is normal. Exactly what you're going through right here with just kind of feeling a little depleted, drained, all of that, and if you're going to cry, please do. Like, just don't neglect you. Don't neglect your mental health. Don't neglect just you as an individual, because even though, yes, you are taking on more, you were meant for it. You are capable of doing great things because we have the death card here. Okay. Now I love actually seeing this death card here. And I know for a lot of people that might be like, what, why would that actually be a good sign? The death card actually signifies a new beginning. And it usually means the ending of something in order for something new to start. So I look at this ending as the ending of this period. So once you get through kind of like the tough part, maybe the first month or the second month, once you get through that, then by the end, it's going to start to feel better. And then you'll start getting into that routine where it will no longer feel unsafe. You're going to start to feel more confident in yourself and being like, okay, this is what I wanted to do. This is where I'm meant to be. Because you will find that you are actually good at it. And this is going to, be exactly what you had it initially envisioned for yourself here with this Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Now let's take a look here at the rest of your Oracle cards so we can get a few more messages and just kind of see exactly what we've got going on within these next few months. So the first one that we have is thriving. So yeah, you're definitely thriving here. This is, I think, proof right here with that death card, just kind of showing like this new beginning. It is going to pay off, okay? I feel like, for the most part, because of this Four of Swords and Three of Swords, because there is going to come that moment where you're going to second guess or wonder if you've made the right choice, if this was the right path for you. I feel like once you kind of get through that and just kind of stick it out, that's when you're going to start to see the positive, and that's when you're going to start to see the benefits of why you took this job in the first place or why you took this position in the first place, because it is going to pay off for you. Okay. The next one that we have is potential. So yeah, I think I even mentioned that earlier. Like, you guys definitely have the potential here. Like, it clearly shows you would not have been chosen for this position if you didn't have the potential to actually do the job. Okay. And that's what I'm seeing here, is that within these next 6 months, yeah, it's going to be maybe a little challenging here, but you have what it takes to get to the other side of it. And again, with that death card, this to me only just solidifies that this new chapter for you guys is going to be something that is going to be more beneficial for you. I think you're going to see a lot more positive in the end. Just don't get too psyched out because of the moments of stress. Okay. And I know that's, easier said than done. 100%. I get it. I've been there. Trust me. There were days that I cried after work because some days were just, a little worse off than others, but I promise you it does get better. Okay. Okay. So let's see what else that we have for your butterfly oracle. We have end of an era. Okay, so very, very fitting here, like I said, with that death card there, the ending of something to start anew. So this could just be the ending of, these tough times that you're dealing with. This could just be the transitioning from leaving one job to start another. Okay, or just ending that comfortability that you were at, or that attachment that you felt, to your previous position or to your previous job. If you've been second guessing or wondering, like, should I go back because that's where you felt more comfortable? This is, kind of confirmation, like, no, like that needed to end so you can start this new beginning, and you're going to thrive. You are going to be amazing at it. You just have to believe in yourself and get through those little bumps in the road. Okay. The next one that we have is support. I love this. So you do have support here. Okay. This can be support from coworkers. This can be support from, friends, family, just people that you have around you, I think are going to be more supportive of you, especially because of this new position that you are in. Okay. You are in obviously a much higher position and somebody who has a little bit more authority. And I feel like people are going to be looking up to you. Obviously, they're going to be looking up to you to guide them, to show them the right way. But you also are going to have the support, I think, not only of your employees, but also of those around you, and just reassuring you that you are doing great. You've got this. Don't worry. Even though there's going to be, like I said, obstacles along the way, you do have the support of others around you, I think, which is going to make it a little bit easier just to kind of get over this obstacle here and get to the other side. Okay. So the next card that we have is Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Oh, yes. So this, I feel like, is a very true statement. Definitely something to take into consideration here, understanding that everyone has their own unique path. And this is just part of your path, okay? So like what we've been talking about this whole time, experiencing, a little bit of these ups and downs, with this new transition or this new job, understanding that you're not alone, okay? Everybody kind of goes through change differently, especially when it comes to a job, and you're going to be presented with different challenges for sure. But it doesn't mean that you are worse off or that you're incapable. If anything, it just means that this is just how you're learning, how you're growing. Okay. This is only going to make you better and stronger as a manager or somebody who's in a position of power. That's what this is going to do for you. So don't be too harsh on yourself, especially when you get to this point, or if you do get to this point, okay? Because again, remember, you have free will. So you have the opportunity to kind of like nip this now before it even gets to that point. If you are watching this before any of this has happened, and this is kind of like the trajectory of like where you're going or where you're headed, if you don't want it to get so bad or get to that point, remember that half the battle is what you think of yourself too, and kind of like how harshly you judge yourself or the expectations that you put on yourself. So I love that you have this, because I feel like that's just like a good confirmation with that. Okay. The next one that we have is peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Yes. Okay. Definitely release any of this negative energy, release any of these limiting beliefs, any of these thoughts that you might be telling yourself that I can't do this, I'm not good enough. Let it go. Okay. You want to give yourself a little bit of peace, because this is why the Four of Swords is in reverse here, because you haven't given yourself any rest. You haven't given yourself any bit of a break. You don't want to overwork yourself, and you don't want to get to this point. So if it happens, it happens. Okay. But if you can prevent it, by all means, do so. Okay. All right. So the next one that we have serendipity. Oh, I love this. So when I see this card, serendipity to me kind of just represents like that feeling of luck and that feeling of just like fulfillment, like I am where I'm supposed to be kind of a thing. Okay. And even just with the imagery, it's clearly just like you see all these clovers, and I think literally just like pure luck, like happiness, fortune, abundance. So just remember that the path that you are on is going to lead you to that. Like clearly you were chosen for this position for a reason, because you are capable of bringing so much more abundance around you. And you have to remember that you are capable. Okay. You are capable of doing things if you put your mind to it. So I love the fact that you have this here, almost just like as a reminder of like what your full capability is. Okay. Okay. And then for your next card that we have is Clean It Up. Okay. So I love this card because this is really just kind of confirming what we've basically been talking about not letting any negativity, kind of linger or stay. You really want to clean up anything that just doesn't serve you, any limiting beliefs, any just negative self-doubt, anything like that. This is going to be a good time just to kind of clear up any of that, especially if you're feeling overworked. You want to just kind of clear up some space for you, even if you're able to just carve out some extra free time just for you. So then that way you don't feel so bogged down. You don't feel so like just overworked or just like there's too much on your plate. You don't want to feel that way, especially if you're stepping into this new job or new position. Don't overload yourself, okay? Give yourself some room to breathe here, because this obviously is new territory and you want to be able to immerse yourself, but do it in a healthy way that isn't going to make you feel like you are incapable of doing the job that you're capable of doing, okay? All right, so for your last two oracle cards, I did pull some love messages because this is the next 6 months. I felt like this was pretty much just an overall general reading. Wasn't quite intending on any love or career or anything like that. It was just kind of whatever came out. But I still wanted to pull love messages for each group, so that's what I did. So these are pertaining to your love life within the next 6 months. So the first card that we have is forgiveness. And the message says, your heart needs to be in the communication of forgiveness. Fully forgive yourself and others. Let go of self-blame and guilt. Forgiveness will allow you to move forward and heal. It will create more space for love in your life. Ooh, very powerful. Okay, so let go of self-blame and guilt. All right. So if you've been blaming yourself at all, or just again putting any type of what did I say earlier? Just like any self-doubt, anything like that, you want to release that. You want to let it go. A lot of this is talking about letting go of things just that no longer serve you. And if that has to deal with negativity, then yes, let it go. Okay. So I love that. And learn to even forgive yourself. If you're not in a relationship right now, this could just be mainly pertaining to you as, just learning to love yourself and, forgive yourself for thinking this way. If you're in a relationship, again, forgiveness can just be something that might need to be communicated in order to just kind of move forward together, especially if all this other stuff is going on in the background. It could be affecting your relationship, and obviously you don't want it to do that. You want to be able to create a healthy space for you and your partner, okay? And then the last one that we have is let go of expectations. This says a person you're meant to connect with may be different than who you've been holding on to or who you were expecting. Keep an open mind, detach from outcomes and expectations. This may pertain to releasing unhealthy or unrealistic expectations in a relationship. Okay, so I look at this too, letting go of expectations of yourself. Okay. I know obviously this is talking about like love and a connection, but because I feel like so strongly this is a lot of the messages that we got here really had to do with you, the individual who's watching this. If you know that you're typically somebody who tends to be a little bit too hard on themselves, this might be a really good time to just, pause, take a breather, and realize that I need to not have this much of an expectation on me. Okay. I need to give myself a little bit more credit, or give myself a little bit more leeway to make mistakes, to learn from them and move forward. That I can't hold myself to such a high expectation all the time, okay? Because then we never praise ourselves when we actually achieve the goals that we initially set out to do. We want to be able to celebrate our wins, no matter how large or small. So definitely just kind of keep that in mind as you guys move forward within these next 6 months, if you find that you tend to be a little bit more self-critical than maybe others. So group 1, that was your reading. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below if this resonated with you. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and consider giving it a thumbs up, as it truly helps out the channel. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we're going to move on to group number 2. Hey group 2, so if you selected the lapis lazuli, then this is going to be your reading. I've gone ahead and laid out all of your tarot cards, so we're going to go through these first, and then we will go through the rest of your oracle cards once we are done with the messages here. So for your tarot cards, we have the 10 of Inspiration in reverse, also known as the 10 of Wands. We have the Chariot upright, Justice in reverse, the Star card, the Temperance card in reversed, and the 9 of Wands or 9 of Inspiration in reversed. So group 2, I will be really, really honest here. These next 6 months feel a little bit like a roller coaster. And I say that because there's just so much going on with kind of like what it is that you are wanting to do. It's almost like you've got like this vision in mind of where you see yourself or what it is that you're hoping for. Maybe it's what you're trying to manifest or what your goal is. Okay. So I see that very clearly here with the Chariot and the Star card. I feel like you've got this opportunity to just kind of go forward, full charge ahead. And you've got like your eye on the prize, so to speak, with the Star card. It's kind of like you're just like really looking to the future here. Even in both imageries here, it's almost like she's like looking forward. But for some reason, with the other cards in reverse, there's just like this hiccup after hiccup. And for some reason, it's like, okay, we're down here, but we pick ourselves back up. Then we go right back down and then we pick ourselves back up. Okay. And it's interesting because with the 10 of Wands, I'm going to start here first. With the 10 of Wands, this to me is more so like you're reaching a point where you feel like you just can't seem to get yourself where you want to be. Either like somebody has put you there or you feel like someone has wronged you in some way, and it's because of them that either you can't move forward or you can't go to where it is that you're wanting to, because you feel almost like helpless, if that makes sense. There is a sense of maybe feeling a little bit victimized. For some reason, maybe just feeling a little bit of resentment because of maybe how this person or maybe people have wronged you in some way. So there is this sense here that, no matter what you do, you feel like you're just going to be disappointed, or no matter how you kind of like move forward, you're going to be disappointed. It's almost like, yeah, I have an idea of how I want it to be, but it's like, why even try, because I'm not going to get there. Okay. So when this shows up here, what I would suggest, or what I would, maybe try to keep in the back of your mind, is to just kind of like let go of anything that is weighing you down, of anything, whether this is people around you, things that you just don't enjoy doing. Don't do them anymore. Don't be around them anymore, because I feel like your energy is really being depleted with this 10 of Wands here that we've got. And you don't want that, especially when you're trying to envision yourself or moving yourself forward. You don't want to feel like anything from your past is holding you back. And that's really what I'm getting here with both the 10 and the 9 of Wands. It's like there's something from your past almost just like holding you back to where you feel like you can't move forward in the way that you want. Okay. And there is this sense of feeling like things are very unfair. Okay. Whoever this person or these people are that made you feel this way, I don't know why they have such a stronghold, or why they're maybe continuing to pop up for you guys, because the Justice card here in reverse makes me believe that there is just like this huge injustice, like something just did not go your way and you feel like things need to be rebalance. Things need to be set right. Because this wasn't fair to you. This wasn't fair that maybe this person got away with something, or that, they didn't get what was, coming to them, if, believing, when it comes to karma, they're just, for some reason, there's this sense of feeling like, well, the reason why I can't move on is because of what they did to me, is really what I hear. And that may only be for a few of you, but I mean, that was a really strong, like, just, I heard that, like, I can't move on because of what they did to me. Yeah, like that's crazy. Okay. So sorry. It literally just kind of took me by surprise, for a second there, just how strong I picked up on that. Okay, so like I said, with the star card though, this is really you just kind of like wishing and hoping and like just wanting the best for yourself. That anytime I see the star card, I literally think wish upon a star. That to me is just kind of like what resonates more for me. It makes a lot of sense to its interpretation. And again, I like to read tarot more intuitively. So this is just how I, interpret it. You can obviously interpret it however you want if you are a tarot reader yourself. But for me, this is really just like your hopes, your dreams, what it is that you are wanting for yourself. And like I said, with the Chariot card, this is you pushing yourself forward towards that goal. And you have the potential here. You have what it takes to get yourself there. But like I said, for some reason, it's just like we kind of go up and down, up and down. So either this could be up and down with your uncertainty, like just 1 minute you're like 100% okay, I'm gonna do this, and then another one you're like, oh, I don't know if I can. So it could be that, or again, you just kind of maybe get in your own way because you're so fixated on what happened in the past, that there's a sense of like, I don't know that I can because it didn't work out the first time, or you had just a negative experience with someone else that has prevented you from wanting to try again, or maybe, move forward, if that makes sense. Now, with the Temperance card, I know I didn't really like touch upon this, but with this card too, one of the things that tends to come up a lot with this, or the feeling with this, is just kind of feeling like things are just very much out of balance. Like you almost feel like you're super frustrated that nothing has kind of brought itself back on track. Like you might feel very anxious, or there might be a sense of just stress here. And I think again, it's because of just holding on to this past situation. So one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video was that with any tarot reading, if you do not like what you are hearing, okay, and this is, just me being 100% honest, if you do not like what you're hearing and you're like, I don't want to feel that way, that's not what I'm going to be about, whatnot, always remember you have free will. Okay, you do have the option and the capability of changing your life no matter at what stage you're at. Okay, just because you hear something from a tarot reading does not mean it is 100% set in stone. This reading is based off of your current energy of what you are, basically projecting now. So if you stay on this current path and you don't change a thing, this is what is more likely going to happen for you. Okay. But what I love about this, if you were watching this obviously before anything happens, I look at this as more of like a way for you to not get to some of these points, especially if it comes to that anxiety feeling or feeling like you're having to hold on to something from your past. Now's the time for you to work on letting that go. So then within these next 6 months, it's not going to feel so up and down, up and down. It might feel a lot easier, and you might be able to just kind of smooth on, or smooth sailing on through, which would be, I think, a lot nicer and a lot easier for you. But if you're somebody who has a hard time being able to control his or her own emotions or feelings when it comes to maybe just how you were hurt or just what you personally experienced, obviously I don't know everybody's personal experiences here, but it's clearly going to be up to you on what you feel like you are ready to handle at the time. Okay, but I definitely wanted to put that out there because I don't want this to make it seem like it's just, oh, this is what I have to look forward to these next 6 months. No, I want to be very real and transparent in that regard, just because, especially if you were somebody who's new to pick a card readings, I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, this is exactly what's going to happen. No, it could happen this way if you don't change anything about it. But if you don't want this to happen, remember, it doesn't have to. Okay. So let's take a look at the rest of your Oracle cards. Maybe we can get a little bit more clarification with the messages that we got in the tarot cards. Okay. So the first card that we have Illumination, followed by Standstill. Okay. So Illumination. This to me is more so like just kind of illuminating or kind of showing you exactly what it is that's in front of you. And it's, wow, very fitting because of like just the message I just gave you, like telling you that like if you don't like what it is that you're seeing, that obviously you can change it. And I look at this as that if you are seeing this message today, or whenever you come upon this video, if it's within or before the 6 months actually happen, look at this as an eye-opening experience for you. So then that way you can actually see what it is either that you need to work on or what it is that you don't want to happen, that you do want to happen, all of that. This is a way, I think, just to kind of open your eyes and see like the bigger picture for yourself. So that's what the illumination card, I think, is really trying to point out. Now the standstill, this is interesting because you might feel if this continues that you're stuck, you know, that you're at a standstill, that you don't know what to do next. Because like I said earlier, like this feeling of like being on a roller coaster, kind of going up and down, you might even just feel like you're stuck, like you're never going to get out of this ever-ending cycle because you're at a standstill. You haven't been able to move forward in the way that you wanted to. Even though you've got the Chariot card here that's all about forward movement, there is a sense of like something still holding you back. So it isn't really letting you reach your full potential because you're almost at this stagnant point. Okay. So we definitely don't want to stay there. We want to be able to move forward. So let's see if we in fact can do that. Oh, I love this. So your first butterfly oracle is Heavenly Signs. Okay. So the Heavenly Signs card pops up when basically messages from your loved ones who've passed want you to know that they have a sign for you. They have a message for you. Especially if you are somebody who wants confirmation that, hey, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Or is this going to be good for me or whatnot? Like if that's how you like to communicate with your loved ones, I would do that and be on the lookout for signs from them because they are trying to communicate with you. They are trying to let you know something. And it could just be, again, that confirmation that you're looking for. So if that is the case, be on the lookout for these signs. I love that. The next one that we have is Seeking and Finding. Okay, so yeah, I think you guys are looking for something here. You guys might just be trying to see what's in front of you, like what is the bigger picture? And that would make sense too with the illumination card. You're really trying to see things maybe as they are, or see things from as like the bigger, see things on the as a, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm like fumbling over my words. See the bigger picture. That's what I was trying to get out. But it's almost like you're really wanting to see what exactly is in front of you. Because for some reason, it's almost like things are a bit clouded because of maybe the past having a big influence on you, or just not feeling 100% sure if where you're at or what you're doing is what you are supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. Okay. So if that's you and you're wanting to find the answers and you're wanting just that confirmation, be on the lookout, because I think your angels and your ancestors, your spirit guides, they're trying to communicate with you. They're trying to let you know, hey, like we hear you, we're, supporting you. And we have messages for you. You just need to be aware. Okay. All right. So the next card that we have is Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Ooh, okay. So maybe this has to deal with a love situation. Maybe learning to forgive the person for maybe how they hurt you or what they did to you. Because harboring any resentment, this is why you're feeling like you're in a roller coaster, why you're feeling like you're going up and down constantly, because you're hanging on to the resentment. You're hanging on to stuff from the past. And this might be the time to learn to forgive, especially if you're ready to move forward. I know it's hard. And again, I know it's easier said than done, but you might need to learn to forgive, whether this is forgiving them or forgiving yourself. Forgiveness does need to happen. So this can, just release any of those blockages. The next one that we have is Honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Ooh, very powerful. Okay. So yeah, this is very true. You can't expect it from other people. Okay. Other people are not always going to be 100% honest as maybe you are. And that has to be okay. Okay, you have to remember that you know that you are truthful, that you are honest, you know what happened, you know your truth. So that's all that needs to, I think, be the focus here at this point, is not about if others are being truthful, but if you are being truthful. Okay. All right. So the next one that we have is deep knowing. Oh, I love that. So with the deep knowing card, this is really more so, again, speaking to you as the individual. What is it that you really know on the inside? What is your intuition trying to tell you? What is it that your spirit guides are trying to tell you? Okay. I think you know deep down what it is that you were supposed to do and how you were supposed to get yourself out of like this standstill, even though you're over here maybe looking for answers or you're looking for confirmation. I think this just kind of confirms deep down, you know what the answer is. You do, but you have to trust in yourself that you know what the answer really is and that you are capable of accepting what the truth actually is too. So I love that we have this. There's a lot of just looking inward for you guys, group 2. Oh, look at that. And then we have happy, happy. I love this. So see, you guys, you're going to be happy. The happy, happy card is really just that. It's like being happy with you, with yourself, okay? Doing things that make you happy, okay? That has to be your sole focus. And I love too, she's holding a star and you had the star card too. So really focus on your dreams, on your goals, what it is that you are wanting to do, okay? This is what has to be your main focus. And I think if you're looking for a sign or confirmation, this should be it, okay? This is a beautiful, beautiful message here, and just telling you, like, you have the capability to be happy, okay? You deserve happiness, and it really all depends on you and what you're going to do to make yourself happy, okay? I can't stress that enough, and I love the fact that you got that as, like, your last card. So love it. Okay, so group 2, we have 2 more cards for you, and these are your Love Compass Oracle. Now, I did pull love messages for each group, so these are just like additional messages just for the next 6 months to see what is going on with your love life over the next 6 months as well. So these are your 2 messages. So the first one that we have is chemistry. This is a mutual spark and attraction with another. There is a strong magnetic pull and chemistry with this person. There is a lot of passion and desire. This may pertain to an awakening or increase of creative energy in your life. Ooh, love that. Okay. And then we have soul-to-soul connection. You are manifesting a soul-to-soul relationship. You are connecting to the soul of another. This could be the balancing of your masculine and feminine energy. You are connecting at a deeper level. Love that. So yeah, maybe there's another reason why you're happy. You know, we've got some good messages here in regards to your love life. So if you're in a relationship, kudos, because it's definitely looking like things are getting hot and steamy and we're getting very, very connected here. So I love that. So group number 2, that was your reading. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below if this resonated with you. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and consider giving it a thumbs up, as it truly helps out the channel. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram if you are not already. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you guys in my next one, and we're moving on to our final group. Hey, group 3, so if you guys selected the pyrite, then this is going to be your reading. So I've gone ahead and laid out your tarot cards, and then we're going to go ahead and go through your oracle messages once we are done going through your messages from your tarot cards. So for your tarot, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Hermit in reverse, we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles in reverse, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Seven of Cups. So for the next 6 months, group 3, we definitely have, I think, a strong focus on our finances here. You have 3 Pentacles cards, which are really kind of talking about trying to get our finances in order here. So It's interesting because with the Knight of Pentacles, this is really all about, things kind of, getting back on track. It's kind of very slow moving, but it's usually like slow and steady wins the race is usually like the saying attached with the Knight of Pentacles. So it's going to feel very slow moving, but it is going to be worth it in the end. You just kind of have to stay focused and not get too impatient along the way. And again, I know that's always going to be very easier said than done, but that is kind of going to be like the main focus, I feel like, for these next 6 months for you guys. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, this really talks about change. This usually talks about just like, a next step in our lives, whether this is just like a new cycle, maybe just like a new change. This could be you starting a new job, maybe moving, whatever it may be. There is a sense of like, things are happening, things are moving, and whether you are ready for it or not, it's just kind of the natural part of life. Like, all right, we just got to kind of have to roll with the punches, so to speak. So with the Wheel of Fortune, this is kind of coming up as, this is you kind of stepping into this new stage or new area into your life for these next 6 months. Now, again, this could be just heavily focused on your career, your finances, just kind of getting things back on track, especially with things now reopening, or slowly starting to reopening, depending on like where you live. Here in California, we're kind of going back to being fully reopened. I want to say like by next week or something. So, depending on how that goes, if everything goes well, then, that's where we will be. And for some people, this is going back to work in person. People who have been working from home or people who haven't been working this whole time, this is them trying to find a job just to kind of get things going and kind of get their finances back in order, all of that. So that could be kind of like where you guys are at right now. Now, with the Hermit in reverse, this is speaking of you maybe needing more time to connect with your higher self here. The Hermit card actually is more so like pertaining to you, kind of like looking within. When it's in reverse, this can feel a little bit more isolating. So you want to be a little bit careful with this, because this can be like if you're taking too much time for yourself and not really allowing yourself maybe to engage with others, or you're just kind of staying a little bit more introverted. Maybe you've gotten too comfortable with that, especially with the lockdown, which I completely understand. We've all kind of had to, just stay inside, not really like go anywhere a whole lot or interact with a lot of people. This might have just been what you've become used to. And now that we're kind of starting to go back out there, this might be good for you to be able to do that. So then that way you're not feeling so cut off from others or feeling like you don't have the support from others around you. So just kind of keep that in mind if you feel like that's kind of like where you're at, or like where you're feeling like you're heading. Just keep that in mind, because it could just have to deal with just, the things that have kind of gone on the past year or so. So it would make sense with that. Now, I already touched upon the King of Pentacles here, but I do want to talk about the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles here. So with the Two of Pentacles, this is really all about kind of putting or keeping things in balance. When it's in the reversal, this means things are very much out of balance. You might be focusing more so on one area of your life rather than another. You're having a hard time trying to balance everything. This could be like your social life, your work life, relationships, friendships, family, all of that. And it just kind of just seems very overwhelming, because either you've got a lot of people over here that want your time and attention, but you're not able to give it to them because you're so focused on maybe your work or your job or your money, or again, whatever it may be. You just feel like you're being spread way too thin, and there's just like not enough time in the day, or not enough of you to really go around to where you're able to just kind of feel content and balanced. With the Six of Pentacles here in reverse, this also too just kind of feels like, money might be really short or really, really tight. You might want to be careful, especially if you're just a naturally giving person, like you're the type of person who maybe always wants to help out other people in need. You know, if you're at the point where, you know, you're not able to do it, don't feel obligated or that you have to. You know, obviously you want to be able to give when you can, but don't do it in the sense where it's going to leave you with nothing. Okay. Obviously you can help out people in other ways besides just giving money. You know, giving your time or, you know, offering extra resources to them or things like that is definitely going to be helpful too. But, you know, in this case, you definitely want to be on the lookout for that because some people might try to take advantage of you during that. And obviously that's not a good thing. So we don't want that to happen. Okay. So with the Seven of Cups here, this is really all about these options being presented to you. There might be a bunch of different options and they're all going to sound amazing. You're going to have such a hard time picking, but here's the kicker, okay? With the Seven of Cups, you really want to be wary because you want to be sure and focused on what it is that you are truly wanting. Think back to the Knight of Pentacles, okay? The Knight of Pentacles is very slow moving, okay? But it pays off in the end. He eventually gets there and it's way worth it. If you just go to the first thing that sounds really, really good, almost too good to be true, it probably is, okay? So keep that in mind. If you have a specific goal or if you have like a specific job or where you see yourself, you know, career-wise or whatever, like really try to imagine yourself what type of job that looks like or where you see yourself working or things like that. Like you want to be almost very specific. So then that way you're not just taking the first thing that comes to you because it might not be something that ends up working out. It might not be worth your while. You might not be able to make the money that you were hoping you would make, all of those things. So it's definitely something where even though, yes, the Seven of Cups generally, I look at as, you know, still a positive card because it does give you lots of choices. Within these choices, it's really meant to make you think each one through. You don't want to, again, just kind of jump to the first offer that just sounds amazing, you know, and then just kind of neglect the others. Because again, that'll kind of keep you in that state of feeling like, am I going to get ahead? Am I going to get out of this situation? You know, it's just going to kind of repeat itself over and over because you're going to go right back to square one. So we obviously don't want to do that because, you know, we're trying to get ourselves back on track. And, you know, it does sometimes take a little bit longer than others to get there, but that is okay. That is what we have to kind of remember as we're going through it. 6 months actually isn't really a long time. It really flies by. I'm not going to lie. These past 6 months flew by. So if you can just kind of think about that or remember that as these next 6 months happen, especially if you're trying to stay focused on, you know, getting things back on track, getting, you know, your life back in order, getting your finances back in order. You know, if you're trying to think of that as your primary focus, then this shouldn't be too difficult when you actually make a choice. It should be relatively, you know, easier for you to kind of weed things out. Okay, so let's take a look here at your oracle cards so we can get a little bit more clarification with the messages that we just got. So for your first card, we have purification. So yeah, this is really going to be you going through everything, like purifying, weeding out the things that just don't serve you. Okay. So really, again, focus on what it is that you are wanting. Let go of any of like the negativity that maybe you've been harboring, whether this is just like any self-doubt, you know, anything that just doesn't serve you is basically what you're going to want to try to focus on within these next 6 months. So then that way your vision becomes a lot clearer of what it is that you're wanting. Okay. Especially if right now you're not quite sure what it is that you want to do or like what your next step is, where you're going to go from here. You know, this would be a really good time to try to focus on just that. So then that way, when you do get presented maybe some options or choices, it'll be a little bit easier to just kind of filter through. Okay. The next one we have is patience. Okay. So yes, please be patient. I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. Think of Knight of Pentacles. He's got to be patient. It's totally worth it. Slow and steady. Okay. You're going to get there. You're going to get where you want to, but you have to be very clear about where it is you're trying to end up. I think that's really like the big thing that we tend to forget with this. Okay. And then the next one, look at that, you have new beginnings. So yeah, this is definitely something new. And I know change can always be like a little scary at first, but it is honestly for the best. And I think you're going to see it fully pay off once you get through this. Okay. So you just have to be a little bit patient. It's not going to come very quickly. It's going to take a little bit of time, but this I think is going to be good for you just to kind of get your ducks in a row. So you can kind of visually see where you want to go. Okay. So for your next oracle card, we have body changes. Okay. So this change could have to affect maybe like with your body. So for some of you, this might not necessarily have to be with finances, but it could just be with your body. Maybe you're wanting to change things up with your physical appearance. If you're wanting to maybe go to the gym more, you're wanting to eat healthier, you want to work out, things like that. This would be a really good time to do that. And it would obviously make sense why we've got a sense of reminding ourselves to be patient, because it's not always easy. It's not going to happen right away. It does sometimes take some time. Even though sometimes the weight can fall off relatively quickly sometimes, especially if you're trying to lose weight, sometimes our mentality doesn't catch up as quickly. And what I mean by that is if you are somebody who, let's say, is or who has been overweight for a while, and all of a sudden you lose weight, let's say real quickly, maybe within like 3 months, you lose a significant amount of weight. So you're always going to, I think, compare at first what you were versus where you are now. And there's almost like this continuous dissatisfaction of, you tend to be a little bit harder on yourself. Like, well, I'm not where I thought I would be, or I thought I would feel happier, or whatever. So if that is the case, give yourself some time. You really have to be patient with yourself and realize that your mind has to kind of catch up with your body. And you have to be more patient. You have to be more loving and more caring to yourself and to your body, because you only have one body. You only have you to take care of your body. So you want to be kind, and you want to, just remember that it is a process. It's not something, again, that just happens so quickly and we magically think we're amazing. It doesn't always happen like that. So sometimes we just kind of have to give ourselves that time to get back into balance. So makes sense with that 2 of Pentacles there. And then we have finances. So yeah, this definitely can be finances or body changes. I feel like there's definitely like 2 different groups here that, this definitely pertains to, for this message specifically. So again, take what resonates for you, but, we definitely have, some strong indication here that this is having to deal with your finances. So just getting things back on track, getting things back in order. So then that way you can feel, more secure, more safe, and just, feel like things are back on track where they should be. Okay. All right. So your next message that we have loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Absolutely. You are not alone. Okay. I just think of that hermit card there. Okay. You don't want to stay in that, hermit mode too long, because that's what happens. We start to think that we are alone and that no one understands what it is that we're going through, or we won't have that support. But in reality, you do. Okay. So remember, you are not alone. You have support. And then we have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Okay. This is very powerful, and I think this is very, very fitting too with our body changes, like I was talking about earlier. When it comes to our consciousness and what it is that we are fully aware of, sometimes it just takes us a minute to really kind of catch up with ourselves, especially if we go through a significant change. So whether it's quickly, whether it takes a while, you still want to be gracious to yourself. And, remember how far or how long it has taken you to get somewhere, or no matter how far or long it has taken you to get somewhere, still be proud of your accomplishments and still be proud of where you are, no matter what. You want to celebrate your wins, no matter how big or how small. It is always important to give yourself the credit when credit is. I'm so sorry, you guys. My camera just died, so I had to charge it real fast. So I don't really remember exactly where I left off. I want to say I left off right here talking about the growth card. So I'm going to kind of rehash that real quick, and then we'll move on to your next card. So again, just kind of circling back to, wanting to expand your consciousness and your awareness, just being fully aware of what it is that you're wanting, whether this is having to deal with your finances or just kind of like you working on your body right now. Always remember that this is a growth. You are working towards something new. Think back to the Wheel of Fortune. This is just kind of like your next step in life, or the next, cycle of your life right now. And this does require you growing, you moving forward in where you're at. So, it is going to take a little bit of time, to just kind of get to where you want to be. And that is just part of your journey. Okay, so for your next card that we have community. I actually don't think I've ever gotten this card, but I love it. Okay, so with the community card, this is just, again, reminding you that you have people around you. And I love that because you also have the loneliness card, which says that you're never alone. Okay, so even though times might be a little tough right now, whether this is just kind of like you're feeling a little bit isolated, or you feel like, you don't have the help or support maybe that you're looking for. And this could just be what you're internally thinking. But in reality, I feel like you do have maybe some friends, family, loved ones that are there willing to help you if only you ask, or if you just talk to them and let them know that, hey, like, I could use just like a little bit of help, when it comes to this, or just maybe helping me kind of get back on track, give me some ideas, things like that. Sometimes just talking it out, with those close to you will be really helpful and beneficial for you in the long run. Okay. The next one that we have is new life. Okay. So yeah, this is definitely a sense of like new beginning here. We definitely have like this, I feel like, overall energy of just things being new. Again, I can't help but think, like, with the Wheel of Fortune here, this being like a new stage in your life. And it's very fitting because this is almost like you kind of becoming almost like a new, maybe better version of yourself. And again, even though this might not happen overnight, this is you working towards that. And I think once you kind of get to that point where you realize, like, okay, I'm on this journey, I've got my vision set of like where I want to go, what my end game is, things are going to kind of start to fall into place a lot easier for you. Things will start to feel more in balance. You'll start to see your finances kind of get back in order. You'll start to see, just things fall into place. You'll hit your goals, things like that. So it will start to, I feel like, get back on track, or kind of get into an easier rhythm, so to speak, once you kind of get to the point where you're a little bit more focused on how you see yourself as like your end game. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So for your last three oracle cards, these are your love compass oracles. So I did choose love messages for each group. Obviously, I wasn't quite sure what the messages were going to be in each group, if they were going to be love focused, career focused, life focused, whatever. I did want to make it a point to at least choose some love cards for you guys, just so that way we can at least have some sort of message within these next 6 months with what your love life is going to look like. So the first love message that we have is true love. This love is real and true. This is a healthy, emotional, and genuine connection with another, or you are manifesting a high vibrational relationship. You are giving and receiving more love in your life. This may pertain to you reaching the vibration of unconditional love. Oh, I love that. Okay, your next one that we have is laying solid foundation. A new solid foundation is building in your life. Your foundation is being strengthened and balanced for the new coming in. You should be attracting new relationships or strengthening and solidifying the ones you already have. Focus on setting firm foundations of honesty and communication and address the things that no longer serve you. Love that. Beautiful. And then your last one that we have is quality time. More quality time is needed with this person. Put forth extra energy and effort into this relationship. Make time for dates and fun. Take the initiative and try surprising them with a romantic gesture. This may pertain to spending more quality time with family or friends. Okay, love that. So yeah, quality time is definitely important here. So whether this is just you with some friends and family, with your loved ones, definitely be sure to carve out some quality time for those. And I guarantee you that'll kind of help too with getting yourself back on track and back into balance. So group 3, that was your reading. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below if this resonated with you. I would love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and consider giving it a thumbs up. It truly, truly helps out the channel like you wouldn't believe. And also, if you are feeling kind enough, please be sure to follow my Instagram page at Divine Beauty Tarot. I will be sure to link the handle in the description box. Hope to see you guys there. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, night, evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.